So the lead goes to the defending champ, OKC, and the two-time MVP, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. He has 19 points in the first half. That's how many he scored in all of Game 4. And the bench is stepping up big time. Remember, only 34 points in Game 4. Right now, 27 total bench points tonight. Alex Caruso held to 0 points in Game 4, stepping up big with 14 points. He is plus 18, and Cason Wallace coming off the bench, knocking down 2 of 4. Huge so far for OKC. The depth is back. That's the game you can trust, presented by American Express. Maria Taylor, the Hall of Famers here. Carmelo Anthony, Vince Carter, and Tracy McGrady. And let's start with that bench, because the two things you guys requested were that Chet Holmgren show up big and that the bench show up again.
Absolutely, the bench showing up, and that was the question. What do you got? I think it was you who asked who's going to show up off the bench. Well, 27 points is a big difference than 6 points from the last game, getting 14 from Alex Caruso. He's found his three-point shot, a little home cooking, and they're just moving the ball. It's just San Antonio just looks right now like they're comfortable with where they are instead of trying to go out there and get one on the road.
I think San Antonio needs to play with a level of desperation like they did in Game 4. Right now, I'm a little disappointed in what I'm seeing from the effort in Wemby. I thought he would come out and be aggressive right away, but he kind of cruised in that first quarter. The first play of the second quarter, he came out with some aggression, but it went away. So when I see that he has 1 rebound and 5 shots, I told you the last game, we need Wemby to have more than 15 shots a game. He had that in a half the last game. 5 shots and a half is not good enough for us.
Wemby looked fatigued. He looked tired. He looked tired coming into the game. Walked on the court pre-game. He got hit one time, fell on the floor. Like he just seems like he's one step behind. And to me, that seems like it's mental fatigue. On the flip side of that, Shai responded. We wanted to know what the film session said. Shai came back and responded. He put this team on his back in his first half. He's looking. He's getting to his spots. He's looking to be aggressive. Even if you stopping him from getting to his spots, he's extra aggressive of getting to his spots. And he made that one shot on the right elbow. And he put his hands up and say, thank you, God, right now. To me, that's him working on his shots every day, knowing I'm trusting my work.
That goes back to the defense that Castle has been playing on him. He's been doing phenomenal. But I think where Castle has messed up is he's putting him on the free throw line. He's been struggling with it. He's been struggling with his mid-range shot, and that's why he threw his hands up like that, because he got his rhythm going to the free throw line.
And that was one of the things I said right before we went off air. I said Castle cannot foul, but particularly 90 feet from the basket. Yes, be aggressive, but you at home, you're going to maybe get away with that at home, but on the road you can't do that. And he's getting caught with his hand in the cookie jar, and Shai is benefiting.
To me, that's just a young mistake. You know, that's just somebody who an immature mistake at that moment. Castle knows better than that. But again, it's a fine line between being over-aggressive and just staying solid and understanding when to use your aggressiveness.
Yeah, one thing that Chet said to Zora at the half is that we've been aggressive, but we've been smart, and we have to do that for another 24 minutes. That's OKC. You mentioned Wemby. Remember, last game he had 22 points. That was how he showed up and really was defining how the game was going to go. How does he define how the second half starts coming out of the locker room?
He just got to be dominant. He got to put this team on his back on the road. He got to get in that paint. He got to get as close as he can to the basket. He just got to dominate in that paint.
He's got to dominate the paint all second half. I mean, on both ends of the court.
I think the coaching staff, and the vet in the locker room channels their energy towards Wemby, challenging him on what he's going to bring to the table.
To find another.
Got to take over the game. I mean,
you got to ignite him.
He's got to take over the game. Yeah. He's got to be the best player in the second half.
All right, we'll see if Wemby takes flight in the second half. Again, just 9 points in that first half and only 1 of 5. The guys would like to see more, and the Spurs need much more in the second half of this Game 5. Ready?
Yeah, let's go.
Your NBA Coach of the Year is Joe Mazzulla of the Boston Celtics.
Wow. Well, you said it, the gap year. I mean, here's a guy who he took a team. You good? He took a team that we felt that, no Jason Tatum, what's going to happen? I don't know. But his system is implemented, and everybody stepped in, and JB had a phenomenal year under this coach.
What a surprise. What a surprise, but he deserved it. I mean, you look at JT not being with them this year. A lot of, reporters and players had them written off because JT wasn't there, just didn't know how that roster was going to shape out. He did a phenomenal job of really bringing that crew together, having, accomplished the, number 2 seed in the Eastern Conference. without having your best player is something to really marvel about.
And when you talk about how they got rid of a lot of people, they traded a lot of players over the past couple seasons. And for Joe Mazzulla to get that locker room right, even with Jason Tatum going down last season, not really understanding or not knowing or having an idea of what the Celtics team was going to look like, what was going to be the personnel, what was going to be their identity. And he did a great job of allowing Jaylen Brown to get at the helm of that table and to lead the Boston Celtics. So for him to see that and have that vision and trust on his guys, I mean, this is why he's the coach of the year.
It'll be interesting to see how his reaction is to this, because I remember him saying he don't even care for this award.
Yeah, right.
He said they shouldn't even
He did say the award was stupid, but what his point was is that he believes there should be an award for an organization or for a staff, because he believes he didn't shoot a shot, he didn't play a back-to-back game, that he's not the one who should be receiving the award. But ultimately, like you guys kind of said,
one of the masterminds.
He crafted an identity out of something, cobbled it together really when we didn't know what to expect coming into the season. They end up with 56 wins. He is the fourth Boston Celtics head coach to receive this award, the first since Bill Finch was able to do it. So it's more than impressive. And I think we're so deep in the Western Conference Finals, we forget what happened and what the Celtics were able to do. And now Joe Mazzulla is ready to speak with us here. And first of all, Coach, congratulations.
What up, Joe? Congrats, Coach.
Happened and what the Celtics were able to do. And now Joe Mazzulla is ready to speak with us here. And first of all, Coach, congratulations.
What up, Joe? Congrats, Coach.
How are you guys? How you doing?
What's up, brother?
We're doing good. Listen,
Coach,
we know you said that this should be an award that is given to an organization and a staff, so I'm going to give you the moment to shout out to the supporting staff that you have that allowed you to receive this award today.
No, thank you for that. That means everything to me, and I think a lot of times, the long nights, the trips, game plans, the video guys that are clipping up the film and coding it, the assistants who are putting in the game plans. I think there's just so much that goes into winning one game, and it starts with the players, but it goes to our staff. And so I feel bad that they're not here, but forever indebted to the guys that we have that give up the time with their families and their time to give us a chance to win every day. So I obviously, grateful for the platform God has given me, grateful for my wife, but really I want to thank the players, and truly I want to thank my staff. I love those guys.
Coach C-Mac here. Because we are in the playoffs, from a psychological standpoint, how do you handle when the player has played, a significant role and impactful for the team, and then he regresses in the playoffs? How do you handle that in terms of, the mental part of that and keeping him confident and also keeping the team confident as well, keeping that morale from a team's perspective?
Yeah, I mean, obviously you just always want to rely on the guys. I mean, the players are the ones that put you in that position, and they're the ones that get you there. And obviously there's a difference between, the regular season and the playoffs from the standpoint at what's at stake. But it's the guys that give you a chance every single night. And so you just want to rely on the guys. You want to remind them of the confidence and the love that you have for them, and you trust them in the most competitive moments.
VC here. Coach, how were you able to, we the media, I'm not going to say we wrote you guys off, but we're like, okay, a gap year, this and that. How were you able to navigate and empower your team to become what they became this year, the number 2 seed in the East, and had a lot of success? How were you able to make that happen?
Yeah, it's twofold, right? Because I think at the end of the day, regardless of what happens in an off season or what moves may be made or what it is that the process towards a championship is the number one goal, and sticking to that process. And I think that's a credit to the players, but it's a credit to the entire organization. One of our first meetings this year, we met our entire building, and it was like, we're going to continue to stick to the process of winning and not get caught up in the external things. And I thought the commitment from the entire organization to just sticking to the process gives us a chance, and we obviously fell short of that. But I thought, throughout the regular season, our guys came in with a huge chip on their shoulder. They came in wanting to stick to that process and get better every day. And if you don't have a group of players that want to get better every day, you just don't have a chance.
Coach, coming into this season, really understanding that Jason Tatum was going to be out and suffered that Achilles injury. What was the conversation with your group of guys before the season, going into training camp, on how to approach this season? Because without JT, that's a different dynamic that you're missing and that you was going to need. So what did you say to the team? How did you approach that locker room? How did you gather all of those guys to approach this season?
Yeah, I mean, I think there was just a true level of trust there. Again, I think, one, we have a ownership and responsibility to the Celtics to just go after winning regardless of the circumstances. And that comes with success, that comes with failures. And we've experienced both, as a team, as an organization, and a lot of us. Then I think there's different relationships that you have. You have relationships with your staff. Like I said, this is for our staff, and they came in with a great game plan that matched the personality and the strengths of the roster that we had. It starts with the cornerstones of the guys that you have. There was a trust factor that Jason was going to work as hard as he could to get back. It was a great conversation that Jalen and I had about where we wanted to go and what we wanted to do. And I think the beginning of the season, the mindset that Jalen took on and the chip on his shoulder that he had, playing the way that he played, but also being the leader to the young guys that he had, and relying on guys that have been there, like Peyton and Sam and Derek, and those guys have always been there. And I think the chip on your shoulder from some of the younger guys that had something to prove. So just leveraging the different relationships and the responsibilities, from the entire roster. Sorry if I forgot anybody, fellas, but just leveraging the different mindsets that the guys were in and coming together and trying to stick to the process of winning. So it's a credit to those guys for doing that.
Well, congratulations again, Joe. I got to ask you, where are you? Did we catch you off guard? You just had to run, sit down, and hop on a Zoom real quick?
Just sitting at my house, I'm doing everything. But,
right. Getting ready to watch the ball.
I have a ton of respect for everybody on the call here, and thanks for what you guys did for the game of basketball. And like I said, I'll be forever indebted to a group of guys that give up everything they have in our staff, and I love my players, so I appreciate it.
Congratulations, Coach.
Congratulations again. That's Joe Mazzulla. He is the NBA Coach of the Year, just 37 years old. Plenty more to come over his coaching career. Speaking of awards, let's